Man, welcome back to the Cruise Dynasty podcast. Back at it again, doing what we do, and let's talk about the fake stuff. I got the Craft Man in the building. What's going on, Craft Man?
Just sitting out here hanging out. It's actually got a little chill in there. Got a sweatshirt on. It feels great tonight. I'm ready to toss some football.
Weather.
Perfect time.
C Swizzy in the building as always. What's going on, man?
Not much. Trying to make some moves in some leagues. Trying to shape up some shit.
Friday night moves, man. I got 2 trade offers back to back in 2 different leagues tonight. Everybody's up on Friday night trying to rip off a motherfucker right now.
Let's go, man. That's the best time of the year. I love it. I wish somebody would try to rip me off right now so I could try to rip them off, especially in some redraft. I wouldn't mind knocking out a few redraft trades.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm on the average shows right now.
Yeah. So, hey, we put out an episode, but we'll also be checking on our own stuff while we at it. Check out our gambling. Every Thursday, we drop out a podcast. If you check it out in the description, every bet that the crew has placed, and really even more, we placed even more bets. I need to start getting the crew to throw them bets in the Discord. Start trying to build that up a little bit. But, yeah, check out our gambling content every Thursday. We're killing it. 59% from the field on game lines and 49% on over and unders. And we be taking some risk on some over and unders. So, or prize picks, underdog, sleeper, whatever. How y'all doing at DFS, though? I forget to even ask y'all every week.
Well, I hadn't even put in a lineup in a couple weeks. I put in one last week, and it wasn't good enough to talk about on the podcast. We'll skip on that one. But that was the first one I did in a while.
I won like the first 2 or 3 weeks. I won a little bit. I won like 4, and then I won 20 off one. I had a single game one last night. Jordan Mason was the MVP, so he didn't play. So I got fucked.
Man,
but I got another one.
All right, well, shoot, man. We in that gambling mode because that's just right when the week is over. We already looking at our next bets and stuff for the next week. But tonight, Friday night, Dynasty. We are the Cruise Dynasty podcast, so we're gonna talk some Dynasty tonight, and we really gonna talk just players to trade for. So you can take it in a redraft. Because I'm going to throw out some players for competing teams, some buy lows just in general in Dynasty. I got a few names written down and maybe a few players to trade away. Heck, me and Craftman just traded away, just shipped them off like he wasn't nothing. Now we got some players banged up. Now I'm like, damn, wish we had Swift this week. Dumbass.
We don't need him. We don't need Swift. He could be the best player in the NFL, and all we got is a second for him, and I'll still be like, we made the right decision.
That is one thing. We definitely, whenever the season's over with, win or lose, I feel like we definitely won't regret having that second over DeAndre Swift. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it is funny how this week it's like, oh man.
Talk about trade away candidates. He got a good matchup this week too, so he probably going to have a good game again.
Yep. So shoot, man. I guess we'll just start rattling off some names. List the players on out. Man, go ahead, Crab man. Just start us off, man.
For trade for candidates?
It don't even matter. I'm about to take me a shot, and I'm gonna start dishing out some names and just say. And then I'm about to start sending out trades, and I'm about to go get them for real. Go ahead, Craft Man.
All right, I got one big name. Well, actually, I got let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. I got about 20 names on the list right here. No, I'm just kidding. I got like 5, but it's all encompassing sometimes. But I got my main trade for target for competing teams right now is Tyreek Hill. And there ain't much to say about Tyreek Hill. He's like the number one wide receiver in the league when he's healthy, but everybody, competing teams not really wanting to wait to see if Tua comes back. There's a lot of, is Tua going to come back or not? And ain't nobody really sure about it. But I think we all agree and think that Tua is going to be back like week 8 as soon as he can come back. And then Tyreek Hill is going to help a lot of competing teams win some championships. And you can definitely get Tyreek Hill for a first-round pick right now. You might have to add. You don't think you could do a first-round rookie pick and get Tyreek Hill?
Man, I'm just thinking. Chris, you offer Zamil a 25 first.
I knew the answer was no as soon as you said if you offered Zamil. No.
Who's got Tyreek Hill in Doo Dynasty, Craft Man?
I think Crack Room has him, but I think that's like a perfect. That's a perfect example.
I got offered. I wish I would have took for Amon Ra. I got offered Tyreek Hill in the 106 and Doo.
I keep Amon Ra.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's tough though.
Amon Ra off and had them 3 picks, and I traded all of them away. But I mean, I'm sitting fine in Doo right now.
Didn't you get rid of Amon Ra? What did you trade Amon Ra for? Because you don't have his ass no more, and your name was the Sun God, so you had to change your name. You had to find a new logo. You had to do all kind of shit because you just traded your main guy away.
I like that logo. Y'all know nothing about that logo. Praise the sun. That's what dude.
You don't need that logo no more. You ain't got Amon Ra. You traded him for freaking DeAndre Swift.
Wait, what did he trade you? What did you trade?
I'm looking it up right now.
He traded him for DeAndre Swift, Javonte Williams,
and
fourth round
picks. Khalil McLaughlin, dude.
Man. Well, look,
fucking stone.
this is how you get Tyreek, though, Craft Man. You can't do it with a draft pick and a first round pick. The way to get Tyreek is you got to send them a piece that can give them points in their lineup and compete in. I'm talking about you got to give up a good piece, but you're taking on that risk of saying, I'm about to get this guy who could be the wide receiver 1 from here on out with Tua. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm about to trade. I'm about to go in there right now and trade Chris Godwin in a second for Tyreek Hill. Go ahead and get it over with.
It ain't happening.
I'm talking. Traded him. I gave up James Conner, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Zamir White, and Kraft's 25 first. I got Travis Etienne, the 103. The 201 and the 10. What is that? The 104.
Yeah.
For next year, or that was for this year. You got the 103 and 104.
Yeah.
And what did you get with those picks?
I got Jaden Daniels and Brock Bowers.
Ooh, that might have worked out.
Which I turned into Jonathan Taylor and all of these other people. And Tua. But I got Baker and Sam Darnold right now, so I'll be fine.
Man, trading Jaden that quick, man. I like Matt says, don't judge dynasty trades because at the time I was like, man, I cannot believe he got Tua already for Jaden Daniels. Like, what a steal! And now it's like, damn, I think Jaden Daniels.
I mean, but
he's pretty good. There ain't no doubt about it. Hey, you can't win them all in dynasty, and
I was worried Travis Etienne wasn't going to be as good, so I wanted to go ahead and get Jonathan Taylor because Dunk was offering him, so I was like,
yeah,
I mean, shit.
All right, well, shoot, you're talking about Tyreek Hill. Well, listen, at the craft, I had Jaylen Waddle, and this was for like dynasty teams, and I maybe even competing teams or whatever. Like if I had, I was just thinking off the top of my head, Waddle's probably the first one I would have tried to buy low. I got him on a team. In a dynasty team right now, I wouldn't sell him low. I would hold him. But you know how people are, because it looks so bad in Miami. And people get impatient. So if you want to go in there and try to, snag in, hop in on that. So, yeah, I had Waddle on my list too, though. Same,
Same kind of premise.
Yep, same thing. Same old, same old. Anything else you want to add to the Dolphins receivers?
I mean, all the Dolphins really are buy lows right now with Tua. He's still a buy low. And like you said with Waddle, do you still feel the same about Waddle as you did like before the season started? Because I know me and you were both high on Waddle, like wide receiver 13 or 14 before the year started. Do you still feel like when Tua comes back, you're just as comfortable as you were at the beginning?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I feel like it'll be just all go. Well, the only thing is they usually fade after the end of the year. The Dolphins do, so I don't know. I feel all right with it.
What would it take to get Waddle? Like, what would you be looking for? If somebody were to come at you with Waddle, what would it take to get him? Chris Godwin in a second. Would that get it done?
Nah, I think I just hold the Waddle. Okay.
Just checking to see
Can't sell him. So I
for a
think it's
friend.
funny. It's obvious if you're in some of our leagues, Craftman is trying to ship off Chris Godwin in a second. See specifically.
What could I get for Chris Godwin in a second?
I mean,
I'll have my list written down.
I'll take old Chris Godwin from you.
Yeah, I'll take him from you.
Yeah, I know y'all will. That's a sell high right now. He's on my trade away candidates.
Trade away. All right.
I'll give you Christian Kirk. That's an upgrade right now.
Yeah,
that's an upgrade.
Craftman, toss another name out there.
All right, I got a guy that might not seem as obvious, but this is a guy I took a lot in best ball, and it took a while for him to get going. But I think that he's gonna be a good player. I think it's his third year in the league. He hasn't really done anything until now. But Jalen Tolbert for Dallas. Brandon Cooks is about to be out. He's on IR. He's going to be missing at least 4 games. And in his first opportunity last week, there was a lot of hype in preseason about Jalen Tolbert, being like the best player in camp. And in his first game, without Brandon Cooks on the field, he had 7 receptions for 87 yards and a touchdown on 10 targets. I want a piece of this Dallas offense, and I want the wide receiver too. I've always been kind of high on Brandon Cooks, which he ain't even been that great, but I think this guy, he's 25 years old, like I said, third year in the league. I don't think you're going to have to pay that much. It might not be something you're not really going to get him for a pick, but unless you throw a second out there, but it's going to be, you're going to have to throw like an old veteran out there or something like that and kind of downgrade and get a little younger. What do y'all think about Tolbert? Nothing.
Chris, nothing. It's Tolbert. It's like, yeah, throw what you want. A second round. I wouldn't even throw you the second round for Tolbert.
That's why I got him on my trade for candidates, because you don't have to pay much.
Yeah, that is true. I feel you. I like it. I'm with you in sentiment. Because that Dallas Cowboys, they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. They got to get it together though. And Tolbert has shown some flashes. It's funny because my brother took Tolbert I was thinking, man, that's a dead pick right there. That pick didn't come. Just sat on that taxi that whole time. Now all of a sudden he's producing. Being patient in Dynasty be paying off sometimes, but
hey man, I'm just saying, in Dynasty, a lot of players take a little while sometimes. Like Nico Collins was in his third year before he broke out.
Yeah.
Not comparing Jalen Tolbert. Devontae Adams took 3 years to get it together. And sometimes you just got to be patient. And I don't know. I just like what I've seen on the field, and I think that he's going to take over that number 2 role in Dallas. And you got CeeDee Lamb requiring all that attention. And y'all know I like Jake Ferguson. He's on my trade for candidates too. I just want a piece of this Dallas offense, this Dallas passing offense.
Yep.
You can get them for practically nothing.
Yep, I'm with you on that.
I would definitely trade a late second for Jalen Tolbert.
Chris, if you had
I mean,
You
I
have
would
to
just
say
send out a
second.
late second. Like,
I mean, you could
I
try a
don't give a
third.
fuck
but,
about
I
a
mean,
second.
Yeah.
yeah, we don't give a shit about like seconds, but like thirds don't get nothing done. Thirds are something that you
Thirds really
add
don't.
on to something else. Like I got offered a third for Rico Dowdle. I'm like, what is a third? You know
I
what?
got offered a third for Jordan Mason. And it was Will, bro. He texted me. I want to message this man back and be like, "Where was you all summer when I was trying to get Deontay Johnson, bro?" And you just didn't message me. Oh, now you're like, "Let me throw you a third for Jordan Mason."
Oh man, that joke is so funny, man. In the home league too, and I'm going against him too, undefeated. Noah Fant, baby, let's go, man. Patch it
Would
up.
y'all?
Patch it up. Go ahead, cry.
I was just gonna ask, like, as far as like handcuffs go, like even like Jordan Mason has became like a top end handcuff in
Right.
Dynasty. So like like your Braylon Allens and stuff like that, and Tyler Algier and stuff. Nobody is trading one of them premier handcuffs for a third. Like nobody. It doesn't matter who it is. I mean, would you trade? I mean, I'm trying to think of a handcuff that is not even that. Would you trade Trey Sermon for a third? I probably still would just hold on to Trey Sermon, just in case Jonathan Taylor gets hurt.
Which he is. He's not playing this week either.
Exactly. Like thirds are useless. You just put them on to sweeten the deal a little bit and just make it look like you're adding on something to get a guy.
And if you think a third is useless, what about a fourth round pick?
No shit.
Well, that's
terrible thing.
Where like when we voted to put the fourth round pick in there, I was just like, why? Why?
I do think it's funny because it's like, yeah, you know what? If you think about it in leagues, I would rather just get rid of the fourth round and then kind of maybe have a bigger waiver wire, a slightly bigger waiver wire if it, just a little bit of action. If you think about it, but yeah, it don't even matter. I like rookie drafts too, though. So when it comes around, give me that fourth round stab.
I tell you what happens though. You draft a guy like Tez Walker. He sits in your taxi, and then you drop his ass and put somebody else in your taxi. That's what happens when you have fourth round picks.
All right, Crabman, I got another trade for a target right here, and I'm gonna go with Tank Dell. Tank Dell really been trash all year, Crabman. Trash.
He is trash. Which is
why I say you gotta go buy low. It's this dynasty, man. Go find the Tank Dell owner. I mean, nothing looks good for him. And you know what? I know Nico, maybe he would be a little bit cheaper if Nico didn't just go on IR. We're recording this on a Friday, and he literally just went on IR. I still believe it, though. Tank Dell, I mean, what's the chances Stephon Diggs still comes back and is a Houston Texans next year? I would say it's slim. I mean, they would have to win the Super Bowl or something like that. I mean, we're talking about they would have to sign him up for a few years, get locked in for like a 3-year deal with Stephon Diggs. Is Houston about to do that? Not really sure. So this is the year to buy low on Tank Dell. Hell, we was kind of saying it before the year even started, but I was including Nico in on it too. That ship is sailed. Even though he's on IR, it doesn't even matter. Nico's way far on out there. But you can still buy low on Tank Dell.
You might have your Devontae Smith to your AJ Brown.
Yeah. So, what you say, Crap Man?
Oh, I'm down with this because I actually went out and bought Tank Dell. The trade that I made in Dynasty, and I feel like it was pretty fair. Y'all can tell me if it wasn't, but I traded a 25 first and Najee Harris for Tank Dell in a second.
Man, stop. Who'd you do this trade with?
I did it with Crack Room. I mean,
whoa, where did this go down? What the fuck?
If you break it down, it's pretty much Tank Dell for a first and Najee for a second. So I feel like it's pretty fair. I feel like Najee's worth a second, and I feel like Tank Dell I paid a first for Tank Dell. So, yeah, this trade happened a couple weeks ago, or like a week or two ago.
That one literally slipped by me. I still thought Crackroom had Tank Dell on his team. I was thinking about who.
We were talking about it on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I think we were saying, would you pay a first for Tank Dell? And I think we all agreed that we would, but it was like, we hesitated a little bit, and I was like, shit, I'm about to go do it right now.
Heck, I didn't even realize they traded Ramondre and all that went down, man. I done missed a few trades.
Who traded Ramondre?
Bad.
I didn't see that.
Will got a 26 first, and David got Ramondre and a 25 second.
Wow.
I didn't even remember that. That was 15 days ago. That was
Did
right
not
up here
see
with
that.
your little Tank Dell. I think I do actually remember that trade now that I see it. Yeah. So
So
Tank
do you
Dell.
think that's a good trade on my end, or do you think?
Yeah, I think you play. I think you did. Good job, Kraft man. You did a really good job.
Yeah. We're gonna lose the hell out of this trade.
Yeah, nah, I think he came out on top with that one. What do you say, Swizz?
Yeah, I mean,
Flip a running back for a wide receiver too. I mean,
yeah.
Longevity. It is what it is. Give me another name then, Kraft man.
All right. Jalen Tolbert just didn't get y'all super excited.
No.
So I guess I'll say a player that I know Matt loves. I'm sure Chris loves too because he likes the Vikings a lot. But Jordan Addison, man, I think Matt. I'll let you go ahead and talk on him. You're like the Jordan Addison. You love Jordan Addison. I just think he's a pretty damn good receiver, and the Vikings are a lot better than I expected. And he hasn't put up. He's been hurt, for a little while with the sprained ankles, plural, sprained both of them. And then he come back, and he's just a touchdown machine. We've seen what Jalen Naylor does when he's out, just score touchdowns. And I still don't think that, Addison's going to be this high yardage guy where he's putting up. I mean, shit, last week, what was it, Prize Picks? I couldn't get 38 yards out of the guy.
Yeah.
That was his line, 38 yards. Crazy, but
Yep.
Jordan Addison's better than that, and they were playing the Jets last week, who got a lockdown pass defense. So I think he's going to be good. He's going to score a lot of touchdowns. How many did he score his rookie year? I know we ain't looking at it, but it was somewhere close to 10 touchdowns last year with Kirk Cousins. I mean, he was just a touchdown machine. So
Yep. I mean,
I like these wide receiver twos with the alpha on the other side. I mean, Tolbert.
Yeah.
And Addison were my trade for candidates because I like the guys that are playing, in a good offense next to a really good wide receiver.
Where's the T. Higgins mention? Where the
Shit.
T. Higgins?
I love T. Higgins. I tried to buy him. I tried to buy him in offseason.
Right
Yeah,
here on
you
the
can't
list,
really buy him.
Swizzy.
Yeah, I tried to buy him. I tried to buy him for a first and a second, I think, in the offseason for McKeel.
For real?
Yeah, I tried to buy him.
Dang, I'm surprised
I
didn't go for it.
Y'all know I ain't never had nothing against T. Higgins. I've always just said I don't think he's like a alpha wide receiver. I think he is great with the Bengals, and obviously he is great with the Bengals with Jamar Chase over there. They're both better together, man. Sometimes you gotta have love. They gotta be together, rubbing up on one another.
Hey, I'm with both of them, Addison and Higgins. I have Higgins on my list. I was kind of including him on teams for competing teams because I know there's some uncertainty with his future for next year. He's probably not good. Well, I mean, I keep on saying it. I feel like somehow, some way, he's just gonna be a Bengal. These guys don't move teams like that in the NFL. Something's gonna happen. But
they move out of Cincinnati because they don't pay their players. So.
Yeah, so we'll see how that one rolls. Jordan Addison, heck, I told y'all from the jump. I mean, y'all know I was an Addison guy. Heck, I know Chris is an Addison guy. Chris has been on the Vikings all year and smashing on betting on them as a game line option, and I've kind of hopped on that wagon too. So yeah, Minnesota's just way better than what I thought.
That defense is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, dude. They're 5-0 rolling with Sam Darnold. What? Dude, they're sitting in a great position as an organization right now. Yeah. I'm definitely going to get Addison. T. Higgins, too. T. Higgins, too. Go ahead, Swizzy.
What is it? Sam Darnold's only 27, 28.
Yeah.
It was like I said. I was I don't think that he's going to go out there. I didn't think he was going to go out there and be as good as he has been. But I mean, shit. They could have got something. I wouldn't have even drafted. Had they known Sam Darnold was going to be like this, I wouldn't have drafted J.J. McCarthy with that pick. I would have just looked for something else.
We will see. We will
Hey,
see what Sam Darnold is all about.
Well, my thing is he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be fucking like phenomenal and great and all this other stuff. That he's got the players that are great around him to do it for him.
I
He can
feel
just
like
throw the
this is
ball.
the Vikings should use this as a best case scenario for their organization. Like just like I'm saying with the Falcons, like they should roll Sam Darnold out there, and if they keep winning, they should play him next year. Sit J.J. McCarthy again. Like you got a first round
Yeah.
pick on your bench, ready to
Yeah.
roll. It looked good in his only preseason action. Let him get reps in the off
Yeah.
season. That's how
Yeah.
every organization should
The
do it. So
more
I'm cheering
more
for
he
Sam
sits, the
Darnold.
better.
Honestly, Chris hit on Sam Darnold in the beginning of the year. Now the motherfucker's 5-0. So they're probably. I mean, I don't know. I was thinking they were going to be at the bottom of the division.
He
I
was
ain't thinking that
in.
now.
You're talking about like MVP, early MVP consideration with how he was playing through the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, don't put that bet down.
I mean, no, but
You can
like
make some
I'm just
money on that
saying,
one, though.
like
No shit.
You can make some money on that one. Throw a $1
yeah,
on it.
Hey,
Might
if y'all
win
did
about
have to
20.
put an MVP bet down, who would y'all put the MVP bet down on? Would y'all go for the risky one, or would y'all just take Lamar Jackson and just win your money?
I'm not gonna go for either of them. I'm gonna take Jaden Daniels, MVP,
Rookie and MVP?
rookie of the year MVP.
Damn. It's a hot take. I mean, Jaden Daniels.
We'll see what it looks like on Sunday or Monday
be on
night. Well, I
our-
think it's Sunday.
We
Yeah.
gonna
Coming
pick
from
him
the
up.
guy who traded Jaden Daniels for
I mean, I traded
fourth.
January for a fourth.
You win some, you lose some, man. That's all I can say. Because Jaden Daniels looks way better than what I thought. I can't
Y'all
even
get to
believe how good he
see.
looks.
Y'all get to see your boy Drake May go out there and
Yeah.
do what I told
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
that he was
I
gonna
can't
do.
wait. Let's
You
go,
want to
man.
hear my trade for candidates? The Patriots wide receivers. That's on my list. The Patriots wide receivers: Jalen
Jalen
Polk,
Polk?
Demario Douglas. Jalen Polk and Demario Douglas trade for candidates right now. I don't have that much to say about it because Drake May might not be shit, but he might be good. And
Hey,
Jalen
am
Polk
I-
looks good on the field. So
I know me and Phil had went the same way on FanDuel about our tight end. We went Hunter Henry
Yeah.
because I was like, Drake May's playing. He gonna be dropping the ball to that tight end. I got an underdog bet in there that's like it's like plus ×6 or something like that for a rushing touchdown from Drake May. I just feel like these rookie quarterbacks, like the young guys like that, they'll get a rushing touchdown. I got one for Spencer Rattler too. You know, he ran a lot too.
they got to get down there. They got to get down there first.
You
I mean, I
know,
think
That's
they'll
the
be
main
all right.
problem.
you know what underdog should do? Because lately, these past couple weeks, I've placed some over/under bets on my bookie as single bets. Underdog should let you place bets as single bets. Do they do that on there, or you have to parlay everything?
You got to parlay everything.
That's what I was thinking. They should let you play single bets on there, though. If they
They
did, I
listen
would be
to
putting
me.
our whole list on there every week and just cashing out. All right. Yeah, Patriots wide receivers. Look, Jalen Polk. It wasn't like when we was talking about rookies that me and you were just like, oh, Jalen Polk. But, the process went on. He got drafted by the Patriots. I was taking him a lot in best ball. So, yeah. I saw somebody tweet out the other day. He was like, you got 6 days to buy Jalen Polk. I was like, yeah, all right. So go buy Jalen Polk if you want it. But, yeah, crap, man, I'm with you. I would rather trade for Jalen Polk over, what's his name, Pop Douglas, just because I think Jalen Polk, you're just going for upside. And, Chris has harped on it all offseason. Like, the Patriots ain't going to be no good. So I'm going to just try to get whatever upside I can. And it looks like that could be with Jalen Polk. So I'm with you, Craft Man.
I just gotta say, like, I'm looking at Jalen Polk right here, like, and you're talking about the upside is there. Let me read you
He's
the
just,
yardage.
the whole Patriots
No. Because I hear the upside is there. I'm gonna read a few of these lines off to you, and I want you to tell me where the fuck this upside is. 13 yards on 2 targets, 2 receptions. 30 yards. He had 7 targets. He caught 3 of them bitches today. He only caught 3 of them. Last game, he had 6 targets. one catch for 13 yards. Like if he can fix that, yes. Like yes, it could be fixed.
Those are passes from Jacoby Brissett. Like in theory, we're just saying if Drake May is actually good,
I think it's gonna. But like I said, I've always said I think it's gonna be worse, dude. I just think it's gonna be worse.
But what if? But what if?
What if? Yeah, it is funny because we really don't deal in absolutes, but when it comes to Chris and the Patriots, there is no way the Patriots are going to be good. But I mean, heck, I'm with Chris. I'm just saying there's a slight possibility if I can slide. What would you go? Let's just say right now, Kraft, throw a second out there for Jalen Polk.
I mean,
I would. I would throw a second, but I would try to get Jalen Polk in like a package deal. I wouldn't act like I'm coming after Jalen Polk and just be like, here's a second for Polk. Because if you got a guy like me and Chris, we don't give a shit about seconds. So it's like you give me this guy and Jalen Polk because, you know, they're not really gonna be like, I can't part ways with Jalen Polk. Like, it's not gonna be a deal breaker that you're trying to get Jalen Polk added onto the deal. So that's what I would try to do.
I got another one, young guy, Brian Thomas Jr. And listen, he's already popping off, but this is what I'm saying. Go ahead and buy him now if you can, because he's about to really be popping off these next couple years. Because whatever y'all say, listen, I get it. Trevor Lawrence this, Trevor Lawrence that. Man, that long-haired dude is here to stay in Jacksonville. He is going nowhere. And as long as he's there, Brian Thomas Jr., winning or losing, the Jaguars winning or losing, he's going to be a fantasy option for your dynasty teams for years to come. And I'm talking about he's about to get up there in them high tiers, Kraft, man. I don't know how high. I mean, after his rookie year, he's definitely soared up there some. But give it a couple years, and he's going to be up there pretty high. He's a deep threat. If they get to where he's getting like 10 targets a game and shit like that, it's over with, man. Go ahead and buy him now, even though he's popping off. This is kind of a buy low situation, even though he's doing good. If you know,
you can still get him lower than what you would. I mean, it'll still be tough to get him. Yeah, it'll still be tough to get him. He's going to be worth a lot, but Trevor Lawrence is a buy low in his own right, but I know I'll be hating on y'all being Clemson fans and everything, but I'm just like I have been with Dak Prescott through the years. Trevor Lawrence is my new Dak Prescott. I will defend this man as a good quarterback. I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. He just plays for the Jaguars, and they're terrible. Like they're one of them franchises that just can't get shit together. But Trevor Lawrence is just as good, coming from a Packers fan, as Jordan Love. If Trevor Lawrence was with the Packers, he would be just as good as Jordan Love looks right now.
I can't believe what is spewing out of the Kraft man's motherfucking mouth tonight. The dude must be drunk as hell over there, Kraft.
He's a good quarterback, and he can definitely support wide receivers. I mean, Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas. If he's hooked up with Trevor Lawrence for a while, that is definitely not something to be like, I don't want Brian Thomas because he's with Trevor Lawrence. It's more, you should be more excited about it than, Chris Olave with Derek Carr. You know what I mean?
It's about to be, hey.
I would trade Olave quick.
I thought
That's
about
a trade-away candidate for Brian Thomas, like super fast. He'd be gone.
I thought about Chris today because the poor man P. Miller texted me and said, he was asking me about Derek Carr. I said, it sounds like he's out for multiple weeks. And then Phil said that this could be it for Derek Carr right here. Right here, Spencer Rattler gonna come in here,
and that's what I said. I said that at the beginning of the year too. I said I don't think Derek Carr will be starting. Spencer Rattler will be playing, and he's gonna be hurt for weeks.
I mean, I'm not counting him out. I know he was a lower draft.
I mean, he played. I mean, shit, they look so good in the first few games.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Fluke
might be a time to go buy Olave, but Kraftman's saying to go ahead and sell. But yeah, I'm with you, Brian Thomas. Give me another guy, Kraftman. You got any more on your any more names?
Yeah, I got some on my list, but I got to talk about Olave right quick. Just sell his ass. He just ain't as good as what people make him out to be. Like he's he's just not as good as you want him to be, and he's not ever going to be as good as you want him to be. And I still think there's a lot of people out there that think he's going to be like a top 10, top 15 dynasty wide receiver. Just go ahead and sell him. Get your ass a competing piece to help you win this year, because Olave's not going to be it. He's going to be a low-end, very low-end wide receiver, too, by the end of the year. If you could sell him and get somebody to help you win now, I think that's the move.
Man, couldn't agree with you more. I was on the fence about this one for a while, but now, I mean, we really are. I'm not saying, like me, I've just shouted out Spencer Rattler, and I'm just saying I'd give him a shot to go out there and do his thing, but that's what we're banking on. Chris Olave's dynasty value is a Spencer Rattler little stretch, and if not, they're going to be bad for a lot of weeks, and then you're going right back to Derek Carr, and it ain't been pretty with Derek Carr.
Derek Carr prefers Rashid Shaheed. I mean, he really does.
I've actually enjoyed watching Rashid Shaheed play this year. I think he looks real good. I mean, he's definitely, to me, he's the guy. He looks like the legit wide receiver on their team, and Chris Olave looks. I mean, I think he looks okay, but it just doesn't. It ain't it. I've dealt with it last year. Somebody's dealing with it this year. He's trash. I'm just kidding.
And they're also the number one team in rushing attempts. So they want to establish Alvin Kamara, who is also a threat out of the backfield to catch passes. They run a shit ton of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends on the field, and they throw to them tight ends a lot. Olave really is nothing but he's in between the 20s type of guy who's just going to catch, 5 balls for 50 yards and be done. His touchdown upside isn't that high, and I just don't think he's like that wide receiver that demands targets every single game. So, yeah, sell his ass.
Man, get rid of his punk ass. Well, shoot, if we're going to keep it all gloomy and doomy, I got a big name to sell then. I thought about it hard, and I thought about it for weeks. And I'm going to throw Garrett Wilson's name out there, man. I say sell his punk ass. I say it's time to get rid of him. I feel like we overthought Garrett Wilson, to be honest with you. I think we just assumed he was going to be great and all this stuff. He just got a lot of targets from Aaron Rodgers. Like, maybe it works out for a stretch. I mean, but the thing is, like, even if it works out for a stretch of time this year, we've also seen it look so bad for a stretch of time. It could still revert back to that and him go to Allen Lazard. Who knows? They might get Devontae Adams. I doubt it. You know me, I'm skeptical of all kind of trades. All NFL trades and free agency. I got to see it to believe it. Garrett Wilson, get him on out of there, man. People really are still high on Garrett Wilson. Like, one thing I harped on before the season started was it was just a given Garrett Wilson was over Drake London. Man, dude, that is so over with after this year. Garrett Wilson definitely selling right now. Ship him out. What could I get? If I could get somebody like, who are we talking about? Brian Thomas in a first. Man,
I mean, that's too easy. It had to be. Would you sell Garrett Wilson for Brian Thomas? That would be more.
I would have to get something extra still. People are still super high on Garrett Wilson.
I think people are very high on Brian Thomas right now. Also,
man, how high are we talking though? All right, well, maybe not Brian Thomas. Maybe he's not.
Well, I think that's a good. I do think that's a good name to bring up. Who do you want more, Matt? Brian Thomas or Garrett Wilson?
I want Brian Thomas more personally.
So I know you can sell him for that, but
I know there is no dynasty ranking or anything out there, period, that has Brian Thomas even remotely in the ballpark of Garrett Wilson. There's nobody thinking that, I feel like. If anything, they're probably like, oh, man, he's tied to T-Law. Yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they might be, but I think Brian Thomas's price is very high right now.
Yeah. I mean, it could be. It could be. Well, shoot, man. It don't matter, but I would still sell, in theory, I would still sell Garrett Wilson. Maybe it doesn't get done with Brian Thomas, but I mean, I feel like people are still telling you to buy low on Garrett Wilson.
Who would you rather have, Chris?
I mean, at this point, probably Brian Thomas.
Mm.
But I would have to, like, if I'm trading away Garrett Wilson, I'm not straight up for Brian
Yeah, that's what
Thomas.
I'm saying. Like, you got to get more, bro. I don't think his value is that high. It can't be to that level.
I don't know. I just think when you want to get trades done, sometimes you just got to call your shot. And if you can't get it done, you just go out there and send it. If you'd rather have the guy, then just go ahead and get the guy. You know what I mean? Because say you you offer somebody Garrett Wilson for Brian Thomas, and it gets, rejected, then you're gonna have to do something else if you want Brian Thomas. If you want him on your team, you're just gonna have to go get him. That's the way it works. Trades usually, like we said in Dynasty, they're gonna have some backlash because people think they ain't fair until a couple weeks later, and it's like, oh shit, he won that trade.
Yeah,
Yep.
I learned that whenever Devon A-Chain took off on a 98-yard touchdown run. They was all talking shit, and I was like, damn, this is the dude that I got. Then they were like, oh, this can't be done. Then he did it for 2 more weeks after that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely can't over that. That should be another thing I put in our little about thing down there. Can't overreact to dynasty trades. Because how many times do we laugh at a dynasty trade and then, I mean, it could be even a year later, it could be a few weeks later, and you're just like, wow, I can't even believe we thought that he won. But anyway, shoot, I got at least one more young guy named to buy. This is pretty much my last name to buy dynasty that is like one of the younger ones. Trey Benson, not doing shit, and I know whoever's got Trey Benson on their team right now is like, oh man, and you don't know how James Conner's going off this year. Just think in theory next year he could be gone and Trey Benson could get all that work. That's all I'm saying. That's pretty much all I'm saying. I mean, you would still have to pay up, but if you could get it done, giving somebody a veteran piece for a young guy, you could make it work.
I mean, I like Trey Benson. Do you think for sure though that if James Conner does leave, that Trey Benson just comes in and he's the running back for the Cardinals next year?
I'm just saying, in theory, you got to roll with. He's a second round draft pick. He's got the draft capital, so it's as safe as bet as any. I mean,
yeah, but I think that James Conner's the kind of player that wouldn't ask for a lot of money, and he would just keep signing 1 to 2 year deals and play for cheaper.
I also agree with that too. I definitely don't disagree with that. It's not going to cost too much money to sign James Conner. The Cardinals got to be willing to bring him back, and if you think about it, they should be willing to bring him back.
Yeah, they should be.
So
I mean, Trey Benson's not a bad stash because you got to think James Conner gets hurt a lot too.
Yeah,
James Conner has some injury history.
If James Conner did sign with him in the offseason, though, then would be a real good time to buy low on Trey Benson then. But yeah,
James Conner just anytime he plays, he's like an RB1.
Good.
Yeah, he's so like Joe Mixon, like your guy.
Yeah, I'm hating on him all the time. All them times hating on him, and now I'm begging for him to come back. I need his ass.
But it's like, well, they've tried to get him back. See, the reason why it's like me with even like Trey Benson is they tried to do this last year too. They got another running back behind him. Who was it?
Michael Carter.
They got Michael Carter, but they drafted another running back that was out there too.
Not that high though.
Who was it? Is he? I mean, I know what's his name, but I'm saying, what round was he drafted in? That's what I meant to say. All those guys are like throwaways, pretty much. You could just toss them into the trash can. But Trey Benson's supposed to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? In theory, he was supposed to take over this year. James Conner's just too good.
Yeah, I got another trade-away candidate. It's Nick Chubb. He's about to come back, I think. And I would just go ahead and get rid of Nick Chubb for whatever you could get. I mean, not a third, but if somebody were to come out and offer you a second, even though me and Chris talk a lot of shit about seconds, I just think Nick Chubb this offense is just so bad. And when he comes back after that, after that devastating injury, I just don't think he's even going to be. He's not going to be himself. I mean, I hate that. I like Nick Chubb. I hope he comes back and he's good. But what are really the chances that he comes back and like saves this offense? And I still think there's a lot of people out there that think like, oh, Nick Chubb's coming back. You know, he's going to be Nick Chubb again. And I just seriously doubt it. So I would trade Nick Chubb for really whatever you can get for him.
Second gets it done. Chris, what about you? If you had Chubb and then somebody sent you a second, you still saying
I
no?
mean, I probably would. It's just like at this point, that dude's been injured enough, and then he's going to go into this situation to where they're going to try to run him because they're not going to want Deshaun Watson dropping back in the pocket that much because I hate watching the Browns. Like, I hate that I have Amari Cooper on my team because it's just so frustrating, dude. Like, it's like just sitting there and watch. And I used to say, like, I physically went and seen Deshaun Watson play in college and watched this dude throw for like 400-something yards and do all this crazy shit. We watched him do it in Houston. He took 2 years off, was getting fucking fingers up his ass and shit, like masseuses, and now the dude don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on. I at this point, if they bench him, they can't bench him for what they pay for him. Put Jameis Winston in there and give me every fucking receiver for the Browns at that point.
I wish they'd
you talking about a nasty ass, like just disgusting ass buy low. Jerry Jeudy, because I think Amari Cooper's about to get traded, and they're going to have to throw the ball to somebody.
Yeah.
They're talking about the Amari Cooper could go to the Chiefs.
Man, that'd be nice.
He looks like he fits the Chiefs. I feel like he's a
I'd be kind of. I would like to him go to the Chiefs, but I feel like that would he'd be. Well, he's volatile there, but that's like real volatile. Chiefs wide receivers.
I don't think he'd be volatile. I think he would be consistent with the Chiefs. I think he would be like your Rashee Rice with the Chiefs, like over the middle of the field. But we're just talking hypotheticals anyway. He's not on the Chiefs, so
he ain't going.
I think he would be great with the Chiefs, though. Like great.
I really just got a couple.
I don't care where he goes. I just want him out of that. I just want him out of Cleveland.
I would too. Just imagine if he would have went to San Fran or something like that in the beginning. But
just imagine if the Cleveland had Baker.
Yeah, look. Speaking of Amari Cooper, I was gonna say I've got him for competing teams. I'd see if I could go. I've actually sent out for Amari Cooper. Can't get it done because Dunk has him. And then I was gonna say Calvin Ridley. Toss his name out. Regardless, the Tennessee's gonna roll Will Levis out there probably every game this year that he's healthy. And
Calvin I can't believe that I won that week. After Derrick Henry went the fuck off the night before, and I was winning by like fucking 40 points.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry scored like 32, and he had Will Levis left to go, and Will Levis got benched like midway through that game because he got hurt. And
that
I
man
won
fell.
That week because
I'm telling you, bro, that man fell for as hot as he's been on his game lines this year. That dude in fantasy football has had the worst fucking luck this year because that's in Dynasty.
Man, Average Joe's, dude. He's like, I wanted to put the chat the other day. He talked about he was going to go get him a good quarterback. Got Josh Allen. It looks like that's biting him in the ass right now.
Hey,
I know he's playing good, but 0-5, that's rough.
Y'all want to? You already mentioned one of my names on my trade away candidates, man. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes in Dynasty. Go ahead and capitalize on the big name because Patrick Mahomes, this is a year and a half of him being like a QB 10, QB 12. And shit, whatever y'all say about Patrick Mahomes, he is great. Like, they're going to win probably another Super Bowl this year. But Patrick Mahomes is not asked to do what he used to do. And Josh Allen, you're really starting to see what it looks like with no receivers on the field. So, and I don't think I'm overreacting. Josh Allen's been like the QB 1 and 2 for the past like 5 years. It's not happening this year. Josh Allen is not gonna be okay. Like the Bills might be a playoff team, but Josh Allen he's not gonna be your QB 1. And the reasoning behind this in Dynasty is because you can get two really good players. You can get a quarterback and another piece to get Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. But they can be the best in real life. But shit, we played a fake shit. So,
Yep.
what do y'all think on that? Like, y'all think Josh Allen and Mahomes picks it up, or would you capitalize on the name before it just keeps continuing on where they're just like, you know, the QB5 or the QB10 on the year? I mean, even Tom Brady he won all these Super Bowls, and that's what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now. He's just asking to, you know, manage the offense. Like, they're just dumping down 5-yard passes at a time, running the ball, and playing defense. And they're winning games, and that shit's not good for fantasy when you got that good of a defense that can shut people down. What y'all think? In a super flex, would you be willing to sell Patrick Mahomes and get, let's say, I don't know, Jordan Love and Jaden Reed?
Look, man, I would sell Patrick Mahomes and maybe keep Josh Allen. Yeah, I would definitely do that Patrick Mahomes one. Josh Allen, I don't know. I ain't willing to give up on that one yet.
Would you do Josh Allen for Jordan Love and Jaden Reed, or Dak Prescott and shit? I don't know. Who's another good, like Chris Godwin, or
Nah.
I'm trying to think of another younger receiver who's been pretty good. But I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. Like even at running back, you could go get Dak Prescott and Jonathan Taylor. Would you do Dak and Jonathan Taylor for Josh Allen?
No, man, no. Can't do it, man. Can't
No?
do it. I might would try.
I traded Josh Allen in a super flex straight up for Justin Jefferson, and I don't regret it one bit.
Oh man, no.
This is a time, man. I'm telling you. If you look at Josh Allen's past, he's been great.
Yep.
But he came in young. He was inaccurate. He looked like Anthony Richardson out there. And then you get Stephon Diggs. And holy shit, Josh Allen's a great quarterback, which he still is a great quarterback. But I don't think that I think that the times are about to be done, about to be over.
I mean, he's the QB7. He's still got 2 games over 30.
What's his lows?
9 and 7.
9 and 7. Has Josh Allen? When was the last time Josh Allen had 9 points and 7 points? I can't remember. I can't remember a time he's ever been that low.
You might could convince me Josh Allen for Jaden Daniels and a 25 first. I might could do something like that.
I mean, you can get a lot for Josh Allen. That's what I'm saying. He still has that massive name. I'm not saying to sell him for cheap. He's not worth that. Right. He's still worth so much. So, and in Superflex, I think quarterbacks are overvalued anyway. So I would much rather have 2 really, decent quarterbacks. Like in all my dynasty leagues, I got the same 3 quarterbacks. I got same 2 quarterbacks. I got Jordan Love and Jared Goff. And and my third quarterback's usually decent too. So I like Matthew Stafford, who lost his weapons, so it don't look so good. But I would definitely rather have Jalen Hurts than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was just about to say to you, Craftman, about that little theory. Like, I think some people overvalue quarterbacks, but I think some people undervalue them because we got that league where Dak and Jared Goff. I definitely don't regret rolling how we went like that, but I'm also got Kyler and Jalen Hurts, and they're just straight up carrying me in the league. You know what I'm saying? So
would you trade Josh Allen for Kyler plus?
Yeah. For sure. Jaden Daniels,
I'm out
Kyler.
Here rolling Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, who I got for next to nothing out there, and they're just
I mean that's what I'm saying.
They'd be 1 and 2, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with that too, though. There's definitely 2 ways to roll with it.
I like to look in Dynasty, even if it's Superflex. I'd rather load up on receivers and stuff like that because receivers have the longest longevity when it comes to a skill position. Yeah. So running backs, if you can acquire a bunch of different running backs, because to me, the running back, it don't really matter what age they are. That kind of shit don't matter. You got Derrick Henry out here about to be like a fucking old ass man. He's just running people over.
We could do a whole episode on what Chris is talking about, and we should. I think we should.
It's
a little super flex strategy.
Pick and choose. Like Kraft always says, take your shots. Matt sent me Sam Darnold for a second, and hell, I accepted it. And I'm rolling Sam Darnold out there every week, no motherfucking question, dude. Like, I'm throwing his ass out there. He fumbled for me last week, but other than that, he's doing good. Baker looks good.
Man, while we talking about it, I was thinking about a trade I made with Noah. Shout out to NDB. I traded Justin Fields for a late first. This is what I'm saying, man. It is definitely worth taking shots on quarterbacks if they, can sustain it. Like, I wouldn't have guessed Sam Darnold, but like Justin Fields, like I traded him for the 111. Like Noah Dick-Blower really has won that trade up to this point, no doubt about it. I mean, I went against him in one of these weeks, and Justin Fields kicked my fucking ass. So that's what I'm saying. Like I think people say I think quarterbacks can be overvalued. I get it, but I think they could be undervalued pretty big time because he just threw a late first out there, and he could have a quarterback. What if they win 11 games this year or something? They just squeak out 10, 11 games. They sign Justin Fields for the next 2 or 3 years or whatever. Just man, Noah Dick-Blower won that trade so easily, it ain't even close. So
yeah, I don't think Justin Fields is worth a shit. But
man, what? Crazy.
I don't think Justin Fields is any good, man. I never have, never will. He's good for fantasy, but when you watch the games, it's like I think he's going to play some more, and then Russell Wilson's going to be in. And they're just going to switch back and forth.
All right, we'll tag it in, man. We're going to do an episode of the value of quarterbacks or quarterback strategy in Superflex. Tag that one in with that other one with Dunk, Dynasty Risers and Followers. It's our next 2 episodes right there. We talking about them for sure. Listen, go ahead, crap man. Throw some players out there. I'm pretty much done with my list.
Well, I just wanted to read y'all Patrick Mahomes' stats. This is going to be a lot of numbers. I'm just going to rattle them off real quick. So this is last year, starting at week 8. I'm going to read off his points. This is your QB1 in quotations in Dynasty. Starting from week 8 last year, 8, 20, 21, 24, 18, 16, 21, 18, 19. Starting this year, 17, 18, 21, 16, 14. He just ain't that good. I mean, he is that good. He's not that good for fantasy.
Yeah.
Right now.
I agree. I say trade his ass. And he still got the name. I would definitely ship him out for Jordan Love or whoever. Hell, would you do it for Baker Mayfield plus? You could get some first rounders with that one. Baker Mayfield's a top 5.
And see, another thing too is I think Baker is like he's going to be in Tampa Bay for a bit. I mean, dude, he's definitely going to get a contract. Got to.
He just
He's already.
He did.
So what? Like 4 years? You probably have Baker Mayfield for the next until they just want to turn it over. So probably like 5, 6 till Mike Evans and all them want to walk away.
Chris, would you trade?
I'd kill to have fucking Baker Mayfield in Carolina. Like shit.
Yeah. Chris, would you trade Patrick Mahomes for say Baker and let's see here. You think you could get Baker and Drake London for Patrick Mahomes?
I would do that.
I would too.
That's what I'm saying, man. But
you give me like Baker and Brian Thomas.
Perfect.
And I'm gonna ask for more, bro. Like
you gotta start the conversation with more. But
yeah,
because Mahomes got that big name.
I really would settle for that, like Baker and Brian Thomas. Like that'd be good. I feel like that would be a good move. You're gonna get some LOLs, but
yeah,
I think you need to try to get a first. I think you need to try to get a first when you ask for Mahomes, just so that you can draft another quarterback if you need to. Yeah. In the rookie draft, have that little flexibility where you can get another quarterback like a Jaden Daniels that comes in or something. And I mean, there was a point in time where they were worth. You could offer 3 firsts for Patrick Mahomes and you can't get it. And now it's like,
yeah,
he's not even a QB. He's like the QB 10 in fantasy right now on a given year. And the same thing about Brady. Like Brady's the best of all time, but in fantasy, he had years where it was like he's a QB 10, and then one year he's a QB 2, and then it's still inconsistent, even though they're that good. But when you're playing for a team like Kansas City, who just wins games ugly a lot of times, and I agree with you, Matt, about Josh Allen. Like that one's a little bit more. It's a little tougher to do, but I still do think that Josh Allen. This is just based on my dynasty strategy, really, where I don't really want. I would rather have more players than just Josh Allen when you can get so much for him.
I like to have a quarterback from a team that's defense is just god awful. Yeah. And they like to, or they play from behind a good bit, like
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, like Jaden Daniels, like exactly, like, or people that just have like crazy fucking offensive schemes. I mean, before Tua got hurt, I would throw Tua out there every week just based on Mike McDaniel's offense because that dude knows how to drop some crazy ass plays for fantasy.
Shit, you could trade Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. You can trade Josh Allen for Trevor Lawrence and another quarterback. Like you could get Trevor Lawrence and Baker. You can get both them guys for Josh Allen.
Nice. Speaking of buy low on T-Law, we should do that in FFPC. It crossed my mind the other day, but I thought you would LOL me, so.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm fine with T-Law. I just lowered my expectations on him, and it makes me feel better. Time. Like he's not the Peyton Manning that got drafted. He's not like because when he was coming out, it was like he's the next, Andrew Luck or whatever. If you just lower your expectations on T-Law and just say he's like a top half quarterback in the NFL, then you're probably, you'd be better off.
I agree. Look, anything.
Jacksonville just needs if Jacksonville just gets a regime change.
It's happening.
It's happening. Like, there's no way that fucking that dude is gone. Man.
Dabo about to come up.
Dabo gonna have to learn how to trade and do all that because he damn sure don't use the transfer portal and shit in college, and that's why Clemson is.
Hey, we doing our thing. Top 10 in the country now, Chris.
I mean, I know we are, but I mean, you think we could win a national title with that team?
No. But I've been watching them. I get to watch them tomorrow.
But the good thing too, though, is I don't think UGA can win with that team either. I don't think they can win.
Maybe, I don't know. Crab, what? Anything? Go ahead. Anything else? NFL wise?
Trade for Darnell Mooney. It ain't over yet. He's going to keep on rolling. That's all I got to say about Mooney.
That motherfucker, man?
I'd trade a second quick and get Darnell Mooney.
I sent a second, couldn't get it done. Just 2 seconds, get it done.
I'd trade 2 seconds. Darnell Mooney's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's in the same. He's in the same.
I'm about to go get
vein him. He's in the same vein as Jordan Addison, except for Addison is younger. So
Chris,
I think Darnell Mooney.
Chris, you ain't got no second round picks to go get Mooney, so.
But I do got plenty of assets to trade.
I know Z will trade him. All right.
I don't think it's fluky, but I want to name one more name just to throw his ass out there. His value is probably lower than it's definitely lower than it was at the start of the season, but I still say trade his ass. Just get rid of Anthony Richardson. He's not good. Man. He's not going to be good.
Yep.
If you want to see I call him Justin Fields a lot, and I call him Trey Lance a lot because I don't really see a big difference between the quarterbacks. So it's just not going to work out, man.
It ain't.
You can't call that
Hey, we bring it back to Crew versus Twitter. We got to do it this offseason because that was one that we called out a big podcast on that one. Killing them. Killing y'all. Let's go. Hey, Rich,
I trade Anthony Richardson for Baker Mayfield straight up.
What? No, man. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
I wouldn't trade Baker for Anthony Richardson, dude.
It is crazy. It is crazy that if somebody sent that and you would decline that, if you did it before the year, they'd be like, "You are a fucking idiot." Now look at you.
I've seen somebody trade. this is how big the hype gets. I seen somebody trade Anthony Richardson and a second for Lamar Jackson. Well, the team offered that, and of course Noah got Lamar Jackson out of the deal, and the other guy got Anthony Richardson in a second. Like, come on with that shit, man. Like, just get out of here with that crap. I don't get it.
I'm with you. Listen, man. Everybody, thanks for listening to the podcast. These are players to trade for, players to trade away. If you look in the description, I'm going to have it listed out. I would like to timestamp all these, but I do just name them in order. Topic of where we, how we talked about them. But yeah, listen, everybody, 5-star review. Man, those really help if you could get some, but tell a friend about the pod. And check out our gambling. I'm going to keep on pushing that gambling now. We're killing that shit. Craft, man, anything you want to say to the folks out there?
I'm ready to get on one of them gambling episodes with you too, man.
Yeah. Slide them on out. Yep. I've been going solo for the past few weeks. I know Phil wants to hop on some gambling episode one day. Soon, one day, you know how it is. We always, do more and more for the pod. One day, them gambling episodes, they're going to be a staple, and we'll be able to have regular episodes with them every week. But until then, we at least want to let y'all know what we're putting out there, at least what bets are being placed. Let y'all know we win that money.
I got to ask you, who has been the hottest on the game lines? I feel like it's been Phil. Has Phil been the best so far?
Well, I'll put it like this. Phil's probably one, like my percentages is probably higher than Phil's, but Phil's been placing a whole lot more bets than I've been. Because I've locked in 3 the last 2 weeks. I mean, Phil locked in 8 last week. You know what I'm saying? And he was 5-3, killing that shit. Phil's killing that because you want to know why? Because when you listen to the Cruise Dynasty podcast, there's a couple conspiracy theorists placing them game lines in there, and we be talking about it all, man. Because that Jordan Mason shit was rigged, and me and Phil know that shit. Everybody knows that one. You go in for one snap and then walk off like you didn't get a buzz down from Vegas. Come on now. That shit is so fishy, man. But that's why we're killing it, though. That and you just got to look at the trends. Like, you got to have your own ideas and get out ahead of it. Like, one thing I've noticed these past couple years, unders are hitting big time. Unders are definitely hitting more than what people would think. And I think these underdogs, these teams covering a little bit more. We've been picking underdogs a lot and going off. And those underdog money lines are really hitting this year. And if you made it to the end of this episode, I'm gonna say it on the gambling episode, but Kraft had brought it up before we even started on them over and unders. If you want to hit the over on these receivers, you bet on them early in the week, and if you want to hit on the unders, you bet on them later in the week. Couldn't agree with you more. I know Chris was shaking his head with that one. That's just the crude tips right there. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, anything you want to add? Swizzy, you want to say anything to the good folks out there?
Shoot, with the gambling, don't always go for like the easy shit. Like,
yeah,
like don't. A lot of people get on there and they'll see like they'll just stay on like in Prize Picks. You'll stay in the popular tab. You won't go looking off for certain things. Like, look, don't get bought into the he scores a touchdown. This happens because what'll end up happening is they get in a close game or something like that, and they just need a ball, and you don't get what you get. You got to go in and pick it out. I've been hitting on these longest receptions.
Yeah,
that stuff. Like when I pick one of those that I like, that stuff feels kind of guaranteed, and especially anytime they have those rushing yards or receiving yards per 5 attempts, those are always good ones to go for. Especially in games that'd be a shootout. I went to look to see if there would be any for, if any come out for Green Bay and Green Bay and Arizona? Is that the game that's playing?
Yeah.
Like if any come out for that, I would definitely be putting some on that. I want a lot of like high yardage or like high long receptions in that game because that game's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah, you definitely, when you're doing your DFS lineups, like the main thing you need to know is what are the highest over-unders of the week. So this week, you got Baltimore versus Commanders, you got Dallas versus Detroit, you got Green Bay versus the Cardinals. So if there's one thing I can give you about DFS advice is, place your bets on guys that are playing in these games because Vegas is right a lot of times, or most of the damn time. And you want to go with these games that have a 50 over and under rather than a 38 or a 42 over and under, because you're just going to have so many more opportunities for your player to, go off.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. Killing it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and at this point of the year, don't. We've got enough research right now where defenses are really showing what they're good at and bad at. Like if they're good against running backs, they're good against receivers. Early on in the year, you don't really take that into consideration as much because you don't know what the defenses are going to do. But they changed a lot from last year, so you just throw that shit away from what you knew in 2023, and you really don't want to play these guys on bad matchups. Like it's one of the main things. Even in your fantasy lineups, like don't be afraid to bench somebody who is pretty damn good if they got the worst matchup. Like Rico Dowdle, for example. He got like 20 carries last week against the Steelers. They're playing Detroit this week. I took the under at 47.5 rushing yards. And just don't throw him in your lineup just because he had one good week last week.
Yeah. Agree. Killing this shit. Listen, man, fellas, we are on the air. We'll be talking about, got a couple episodes. Listen, go ahead and plan on hopping on a gambling episode. We'll get us a gambling episode. We'll record on Wednesday night or something one time within the next 2 or 3 weeks, because this is the kind of stuff we're going to bring up on that gambling episode, because this is what we do. Dynasty, fantasy, we do it all. This is what we do. Come best ball with us in the off season. This is just how we roll, making money, talk about the fake stuff. Listen, thanks for listening to the podcast, everybody. We're going to do this if you're listening or not. We still coming in here doing our thing. Join the Discord. Add me on Twitter. All that good shit. It's all in the description. Check out the description. But with that said, I think that about wraps it on up. So we out.
Peace.